What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin, XCN, USD. It is the 28th day of March, and here we are with about 9 hours and 40 minutes left in the day, sitting here at $0.0507. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Yes, Goliath mainnet has launched. We are thrilled to announce, I say we, I'm not part of the Onyx team. I'm just an investor just like you. We're thrilled to announce that the Goliath mainnet is now live and seamlessly integrated into the Onyx app alongside native. You notice how they say Goliath mainnet? They didn't say public version. They just said the Goliath mainnet. Native XCN Ethereum ERC20 support. Access Goliath bridging, XCN staking on the Onyx app. I'm going to click this. I hope my wallet's not connected. If it is, I'll just blur it out, whatever, you know. Let's see. Dun 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 dun. It is taking its sweet time. So, for anybody who's trying to stake on Goliath or stake on OnyxCoin, it's just taking its sweet time. It's loading. Loading. I think it is loaded now. Yeah. No history. Okay, cool. It's different here than it is on the phone. But if we were to bridge, you could bridge here and use the Goliath bridge. Okay. If you want to go from Ethereum to Goliath, and the fee is free. Of course it is. It's free. And whenever it comes to staking, here we go. Yeah, this is what I was trying to say. You can click on staking. You go to Legacy Ethereum. If you're having a hard time finding your balance because it's on Goliath by default, click staking, click Ethereum. You can see that it says 26.75% APR on Ethereum. But if we go to Goliath, it's not that big of a difference. However, wait, let's see. Yeah. Why will it tell me here but it won't tell me here? Come on. Is it loading? Is that why? The APR should be higher. It's like 1% higher on Goliath. For anybody who's curious. So if there's any incentive there to bridge over to Goliath, you do get. I'm pretty sure. First and foremost, it's free to bridge. Secondly, you get a higher APR, and thirdly, I would assume since you're on Goliath that whenever you claim your XCN, that the claims might even be free as well, if not at a lower rate because you're no longer on Ethereum. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on from this, I'm not the best at talking about these things. Yeah, we've got Goliath, guys. It's a big deal. And I'm just going to give you the spark notes here, okay? What is Goliath mainnet? What is it, guys? I made a post about this like 3 or 4 days ago. Goliath is our layer 1 blockchain. It's our L1, guys. We have our own blockchain now, which is a pretty damn big deal. It's actually a really, really big deal, guys. This is a very big deal. I know the price action isn't reflecting it, but we kind of expected that. A lot of people are now expecting that we're going to dump because of Goliath. It's funny because the only people who are expecting that are the same people who said we're not going to pump at all because of Goliath. Goliath isn't going to save you. And all we've been doing is getting higher lows, and the haters come out in full force at these higher lows. It's really funny how Goliath didn't matter to these people at all. But whenever it wasn't getting released yesterday, and it got released like a little bit later, like a few hours later than it was supposed to, however long it was, it's as if all of a sudden that it really mattered that it got listed or that it didn't get listed. It's funny. Let's see. What it is, Goliath is a high-performance public distributed ledger designed for financial-grade applications, enterprise, DeFi, and mainstream adoption. Emphasizes security and trust. You can read that there if you want. Speed and scalability, efficiency, and I'm pretty sure they're actually even targeting. I think that they're close to these transactions per second. And normally it says rivaling Visa. I think that it'll actually do more than Visa. It'll be faster than Visa. Extremely low predictable fees. Yeah. Not like Ethereum, right? Very, very low fees. You can read all this stuff if you want to. Key features and innovations: fair access and ordering, no censorship or MEV-style manipulation. Transactions are time-stamped and order-based on network receipt time. Enterprise-ready, supports regulatory compliance tools, KYC, AML via optional identity binding, self-custody, and high-throughput tokenization. Cross-chain, yes, seamless bridging, for free, right? Which is pretty cool. Developer friendly, yeah. I liked the one that I posted the other day. I feel like he's giving us more of the spark notes today, but background and context, you can read all that if you'd like to. That's kind of Onyx in a or Goliath in a nutshell. In short, Goliath's mainnet is Onyx's big move into a high-speed, enterprise-focused Layer 1 blockchain powered by XCN. It's designed to handle real-world financial workloads with speed, security, and low cost that rival or exceed traditional blockchains. So your coins on the Ethereum network are still there. You can use the Ethereum network, you can use the base network to trade OnyxCoin. But when it comes to the true use cases, like the true use cases, I would assume there's still some on the Ethereum network, but it's mainly from here going to be on Goliath, which is a really big deal, you guys. Really, really big deal indeed. And you don't worry, your tokens are still there. If you bridge from Ethereum to Goliath, you can bridge back, right? They're not just gone. There's no need for any concerns there. But I think I've spent enough time talking, so I'm gonna move on. I'm assuming a lot of us are already aware of this stuff, probably even more in depth than what I've gone over here. So just a quick little intro, quick little commemoration there for the release of Goliath. Now we're ready to move up, guys. We're ready to go. You know, if we pumped going into this announcement, we'd have a buy the hype, sell the news event. Okay, you know, we didn't really get a buy the hype event, so I think this was our sell the news event, right? It's not that big of a deal in terms of price, right? And we've kind of expected that. We've caught wind of that since like the beginning of this month. We've been somewhat optimistic. Maybe we get some type of mega pump going into Goliath, but especially over the past week, we've kind of, you know, come to the reality that it's not going to be reflected on the price in the short term, but in the long term. And I find it funny. I actually do find it funny before we get into the TA here. This will be the TA. Just hold on here. I made this post and it says the. I meant they will say you just got lucky. You will say I just paid attention. And then the only people who are talking crap here were like, Goliath's not going to cause the pump. Like they're all talking about Goliath because this was the day before Goliath. All the haters talking about Goliath here, and it's like, what about any of this has anything to do with Goliath? Right? Show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. What about any of this has anything to do with Goliath? You guys know what this is, right? This here, this is, I mean, self-explanatory, right? Rounded bottoms have been very, very well. They've performed very well for OnyxCoin. Here, you're finding direct support at significant prior resistance, right? And then here, this is your golden ratio low to high retracement that we're finding support on as well. None of that has anything to do with Goliath. None of it does at all. And I was just talking about, you know, people will say that you got lucky. You will say, I just paid attention. This has nothing to do with Goliath. This is all about fundamental technical analysis. This is about structure. This is about what's inevitable, hopefully, to the upside here. I mean, you show me a nice rounded bottom like this. If you found me anything, I don't care if it's a crypto, I don't care if it's a stock, from a high point to a low point, you've been in a channel downwards for over a year, and you finished it with a rounded bottom, say no more. Count me in. Where do I buy? That's all I need to know. If it fails, that sucks, you know? If you were to buy here, if you were to buy in this range, at least you can, you know, take a small loss instead of, you know, hopefully buying the high and then selling down here, waiting for this to avenge you somehow, right? But I'm not expecting that. I'm not forecasting that. I do think that we're going to continue to move up. I really do find it funny that every step of the way over the months, over the last few months since November, you know, January, December, that we've been getting crap for the price action. It's like OnyxCoin's got higher lows in this time. Bitcoin and every other crypto has lower lows in this time, right? We're actually every step of the way getting higher lows, and that's a positive thing structurally speaking. I don't know. You know, anything can happen, and if we take out these higher lows, that would be sad. That'd be devastating. I don't even know if taking out this low would be that devastating. I think it's these lows that still really matter. We're still kind of structuring our rounded bottom here, but it looks pretty good here. I'd like us to hold this low. Let's look at the short-term stuff. I'll stop talking about my thoughts and opinions so much outside of the TA, and we'll just do some TA right now. Okay, 1 hour time frame here. First and foremost, there are no gaps to the upside. We're on the Coinbase chart on the 1 hour time frame. You guys know how I feel about the gaps. There are no gaps to the upside. We are crunching our way down here, but there's no volume. No volume at all. We're kind of in this range. And as you get to the end of a range where you're about to break out one way or the other, you do see low volume. So we are kind of at a breakout moment. We could break out to the downside. If we do quote unquote break out and there's no volume, likely that'll be a fake out and we move up. And that would be cool because then we don't go below that low. But if we do break through this level and volume starts to pick up, that could imply that we're going below this low, and that might not be fun in the short term. But that doesn't mean that it's detrimental to the price. It just means that it puts a little stop in things, puts a stop in this momentum that we've got going for us. I'd really like to see us get above this kind of trend here, and then most importantly get above these highs here and see volume come into that side to that effect. That's what I would like to see. Just because I'd like to see it doesn't mean it'll happen, but I mean, anybody who's planning to sell on the launch of Goliath, they've already sold. Anybody who's panic selling because we're at these low prices, I mean, dude, you've had ample opportunity to do so. You had ample opportunity back here to do so as well. Where's the selling pressure? You know, we look at the downside, there's really no selling pressure at all. The upside, all the volume comes into the upside. And I have a theory that we will move up with ease because of that lack of selling pressure. But we'll see. We'll see. 1 hour time frame looking at the indicators here. The RSI is crowding the 50 here. Typically when you reject the 50, that's not good. That's not good, but the more that you do it, the more I'm like, we're probably going to break through. It's almost like an ascending triangle here, right, with a flat top and ascending lows. And if we break through, short term, that's nice. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to do anything exceptional in the price, but at least we'd move up a little bit. And the further away we get from this point here, the better, I think. The further up we move, getting above this point especially, I think would be nice to see in the short term. So we do want to get above 0.05. Let's just say we want to get above 0.06. Stochastics are weird, but the price action's sideways and choppy, so that's fine. The MACD is probably not going to help us either. I mean, we can look at the MACD. Yeah, it's just false cross up, false cross down. We're probably getting a false cross up here. It's very, very unreliable. 4 hour time frame looking here. I don't expect much reliability from the MACD there either. False cross down, false cross up, probably another false cross down. I mean, it's not helpful because we're just choppy and sideways. Stochastics are oversold. We could stay oversold. You know, we can stay here, but we've been oversold a little bit here and there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we've reset and we're ready to move up. I actually would take this as a bullish sign, but again, choppy and sideways, it's less reliable. We look at the RSI here. We're finding support at the 40. Not bad. Not bad. Technically a neutral yet bullish stance here in the RSI, but again, choppy and sideways, it makes these indicators less reliable. The structure overall is very nice on this rounded bottom here. And again, we look at this in our history. Anytime we've seen these kind of rounded bottoms come into play, I mean, you can just see what happens afterwards, right? It hasn't been a bad thing, that's for sure. We didn't have a rounded bottom here. We did not. We were just in a kind of lower low trend here, right? We started to get the implication of a rounded bottom here, and it really has played out over the months to uphold that kind of standard. And I actually want to see, mark my words, man, this kind of like double bottom scenario, and then you have this like nipple in the middle. This kind of stuff happens at lows all the time, man. All the time. We look at Bitcoin, go on the weekly time frame. Let's just see. I mean, for example, here, it doesn't look as clean on the weekly. Let's zoom out. Maybe we'll zoom in and look at the daily time frame, right? You've got your kind of double bottom here, right? Lower low, or a double bottom, but with a slightly lower low, and you have your nipple in the middle there, and we moved up. It's not necessarily a rounded bottom, but still that same kind of dynamic of two lows and then a center point in between. You kind of did it here, low here, higher low here, with a center point in between. Once you got above that, that was, pretty clear indication that you're going to go higher. Here you kind of have this like rounded, it's not a rounded bottom because you're not coming down, but it is kind of a rounded structure with the nipple in between, right in the middle there, right? You had that here, right here, kind of a rounded structure and the nipple in the middle there. And then just slowly but surely you really started to take off, right? Even here you had this rounded structure and the nipple in the middle. This time it failed, and that can happen. Nothing's perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect setup. Near perfect maybe, but not quite perfect. Even here with this rounded top, it's the same thing, right? You see it? Rounded top, double top right there, right? And what did you have in the middle? A little nipple, right? Just like that. It's a pretty common thing, and that's just Bitcoin. There's plenty of other examples, but I'm just saying this is a pretty common feature, pretty common look whenever you are inevitably working your way up. And OnyxCoin could see some exciting price action because of this setup that we have here. If not, it could be rather devastating and sad. Maybe I was looking at this wrong all along. Maybe I shouldn't have been taking this low to high and counted this as the golden ratio support, although I think it makes sense to me. Maybe I should have taken this low. And if we were taking this low over here to that high, a little drop off, that promotes a lower low. You know, we can try again and round out that bottom from a different angle over there. Or maybe it's even deeper than that. I wouldn't expect that we go too much deeper than that. Again, we have points of resistance here, points of resistance here as well. I wouldn't want to see us go below 0.004 or even below 0.0 like 4.6, 4.5. But it's still something that's possible. Until we get separation, really, until we get above this high, it is a possibility. And we don't talk about it enough, but you know, what better time to talk about it than on a red day? It is a possibility. But I just don't see us going too much below these points here. And I would definitely lay the hammer down if we went down to those levels. However, that's not my expectation. That's just something that we're being aware of, right? Because again, this rounded bottom, as near perfect as it is of a setup, there was one time that we saw with Bitcoin there where it did flop, where we did see it flop. And it didn't flop too much, but it flopped a little bit. And that's the kind of idea that we're promoting here. So, but the real idea, the main consensus from my brain, I don't know, is that we're going to move up. We're in this rounded bottom endeavor. We're going to behave like a W pattern and move all the way up to this 2 cent, 2.5 cent, maybe just below 2 cent area. And it should happen with some speed, with some force, from a high to a low. The expectation from me is that we would go up to this golden ratio here. And that's at 1.9 to 2.28 cents. That's my expectation. I've seen it happen plenty enough times where you make a move up, maybe you stop here, maybe you stop here, maybe you stop here, and then you pull back to your 0.69, specifically this level that we just found support at. You typically do rip right up to your golden ratio. And I think Goliath, with this mainnet release, there's always weird stuff whenever it comes around mainnet releases for any chain that I've seen in my near like 10.5 years of being in the crypto markets. Oftentimes you actually see the pump take place afterwards. Because it's like you're waiting to see, first off, if it comes out on time. Secondly, does it work? Are there any bugs? You know, it's the first day. We still have time to work out if there are any bugs or anything, but I think they've had a lot of time. They've been working on this for a while, and I think they took their time on this, and they pushed the envelope back as far as time goes. They pushed it because they wanted, whenever they released the product, they wanted it to be flawless. And I think that's what we have. And I think as time goes on, the price will reflect that. But that's what it is right now. We've just put the shark in the water. We're waiting to see how it swims. And if it swims good, it should be moving pretty damn fast. A shark can swim pretty fast, guys. I don't know. Hit that like button, subscribe. We got the little shark fin. It's a shark, baby. It's a shark. It likes to swim up. We're going to jump out of the water, come back down, splish, splash, and maybe continue to climb. I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Somebody was asking, actually, on that note, what my thoughts are for OnyxCoin, because we don't talk about super high prices anymore. All we're talking about is like 1 to 2 to 3 cent price areas, right? Because that's the next step. But somebody was asking me what I think about prices going to $1. Do I still believe that OnyxCoin can go to $1? Absolutely. Absolutely, I believe the OnyxCoin will go to $1. In fact, I'm probably not going to sell any of my HODL position with OnyxCoin until we're up around, if not well above, $1. I think it's completely possible, especially with the mainnet release, that we could see a $2 price or higher. Something in that zone, absolutely. It's not going to happen like this. It's probably going to take years until we get there, but absolutely I believe it's going to happen. And all the while, you could be staking. If you're staking on Goliath, you get a little bit higher APR. If you don't want to do that because it just seems like it's too difficult, which it's not, it's really seamless and easy to do. It's just like one extra step, that's all it is, and it's free. Then go ahead and just keep staking on Ethereum if you want. You can get that 1% less APR, but I'm gonna I've already swapped over to Goliath, and yeah, it's pretty easy. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.